You probably know Mr. Beast for creating one of the largest YouTube channels in the world with currently over 130 million subscribers. But what you probably didn't know is that he initially began his YouTube journey with aspirations of using his platform to spread the gospel message found in the Bible. His beliefs can be traced back to before his YouTube channel began. Jimmy Donaldson, now known as Mr. Beast, describes himself as having an obsessive personality, with his first obsession being found in baseball, wanting to be a professional baseball player.
I have a very obsessive personality. When I like something, it just consumes my life.
But his dreams of becoming a professional baseball player came to an end when he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at the age of 15.
Basically, your intestines are inflamed, and because it's so inflamed, it's like someone's just dragging like a knife across your stomach, so it's super painful.
Due to the physical toll that the disease was taking on his body, he was forced to abandon his dreams of becoming a baseball player and decided to go all in on a different obsession: YouTube.
I probably would have tried to play baseball in college, but because of Crohn's, it definitely changed the trajectory. And I was like, all right, I'm done with that. And then I just went all in on YouTube, and I was beyond obsessed.
Jimmy started his YouTube channel around the same time he started attending Greenville Christian Academy, which is a private Christian high school. Jimmy's passion for reaching the lost with the gospel message was something that could be seen since the inception of his YouTube channel in 2013. Over the first several years of his YouTube channel, Mr. Beast seemed to be extremely active in promoting his faith. This was evidenced by a video that he posted in November of 2015 called "The Evolution of My YouTube Banners." This video displayed all of the different banners that he had for his YouTube channel since he created it, and you can quickly notice that almost all of them were Christian inspired. Most of them showed a cross or a Bible verse, or even had quotes of him saying that he isn't ashamed of the gospel of Christ. It didn't take long for his subscribers to acknowledge the boldness that he had in declaring his faith. I really love that you are not ashamed of showing people that you are a follower of Christ. I really love how almost all of them have Bible verses, which is really cool because it's hard to find a good YouTuber that is a Christian and has great content. Keep up the good work. Keep uploading. You're an inspiration to so many people. And proving that he still identified with being a Christian, he replied with, "Thank you for watching me, and I will always show my faith somehow on this channel. I am glad people like it." In other comments, Mr. Beast continued to display his passion for reaching non-believers with the message of the gospel as well. And in the year following this video, it seemed that he was still vocal about his faith, as he would mention his faith during his uploads. When I was around in 2016 watching his Minecraft cringe intros, I do recall him being fairly open about his faith in Christianity. I forgot the video as it happened so long ago, but I do faintly remember him stating that he was a Christian. Now at this point, it seemed that Mr. Beast's dream was coming true. He was now at 11,000 subscribers and was able to reach 11,000 people with the message of the gospel. However, the more that his channel grew in subscribers, the less he continued to share his faith, prompting his fans to wonder if he was still a Christian at all. But as the years went on, and without another single mention of his Christian faith, in March of 2019, the curiosity was put to rest during his interview on Logan Paul's podcast. And before we get to what happened next, we have to take a quick second to mention the sponsors for this video. A few years ago, I got home and found a subscriber on my doorstep, fully convinced that he knew who the Antichrist was, and he tried to get me to deliver that message to my entire subscriber base. When that happened, I learned the hard way that anyone can find anything on the internet, including your full legal name, your personal email, your home address, phone number, and even your relatives. The reason why they can get your information is because of data brokers who profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, and really anyone else that wants your info. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura will identify those data brokers who are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. They'll even opt you out of junk mail and telemarketing lists. In addition, Aura monitors your emails and passwords to see if they've been involved in a data breach and exposed on the dark web. And if that wasn't enough, their app also features a VPN, password manager, real-time identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and protects your devices from malware. So in other words, Aura has almost every internet safety tool that you'll ever need, all inside of one app. And the best part is, if you sign up right now, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial by going to aura.com/whatdoyoumeme or by scanning the QR code on the screen. So go there now, and within 2 weeks, you'll see just how much of your private information they can find exposed. Now, back to the video. During the podcast, Mr. Beast stated how he was no longer religious and he no longer believed in Jesus.
I'm not religious.
At all?
No, I'm not.
What about that Jesus?
No.
He's saying no.
Yeah, like
Are you atheist?
You just asked the same question different ways. The answer's the same.
Atheist or agnostic?
Agnostic. Like, I mean, the universe is complex, and like it's hard to believe someone didn't do it, but like, I don't know, there's a lot.
And given his history in promoting Christianity on his YouTube channel, he was also asked about his beliefs on the Flagrant podcast in 2022.
Is it true that your old YouTube banner used to be like a Bible verse?
It did. I used to go to a Christian school back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's like, it's just kind of hard to tell what's right or what's wrong. Like religion-wise, there's so many, and I don't know. I believe there is some kind of God, but how do you know?
But no longer believing in Christianity left Mr. Beast without the assurance that there was indeed life after death. He now had a deep-seated fear of dying that his new beliefs seemed to be incapable of helping to resolve.
You afraid of death, by the way?
Yes. It's hard because, like, what if you just die and then you just see nothing forever, you know?
Yeah, the nothingness.
It just fades to blackness, and you're just like that for trillions upon trillions to billions squared years, and it's scary. But also, before you're born, you don't remember those, X amount of years either. That gives me a little comfort, but no, it's definitely very scary. Something I'd rather not think about until I'm like 80. I'll deal with that problem then.
Now, the case of Mr. Beast is an interesting one because he's an agnostic who sees evidence that God created the world, but doesn't know if there's any good reason to believe in life after death or not. And I can relate to this because at one point, I too found myself convinced in God's existence, but didn't know if God was revealed in any particular religion or not. But as I studied the beliefs of the major world religions, one thing that I found that separated Christianity from all of these other belief systems was the fact that the central event of Christianity was based on evidence. And luckily for Mr. Beast, this evidence directly relates to life after death. This is why when several of the first Christians were about to be executed by the Romans for their faith, they would sing songs and even laugh in the face of the Romans because they were that certain that they would live again after death. The reason why they were so certain was because Christ said that believers would one day be resurrected from the dead, and he proved it by being the first of us to resurrect from the dead. Now you're probably thinking, well, so what? The first Christians believed that they would live again and were willing to die for it, just like people in every other faith today. But the difference here is that these first Christians were in the unique position to know if Christ was really resurrected from the dead or not. They weren't thousands of years removed from the location and the event as we are today. They were in the same time and in the same place to know whether or not Christ resurrected from the dead, which is something that the historical evidence also shows. Historical scholars, no matter their religious beliefs, believe that there's a series of historical facts that surround the resurrection of Jesus. Two of them that are relevant here is that Jesus died by crucifixion under Pontius Pilate, and the other is that the early Christians genuinely believed that they saw Christ alive again after death. And they also claimed they had spent several days with them after his death. The Bible says that 500 people saw him in one single instance, which makes sense as to why Christianity exploded into existence overnight in a culture that had every predisposition to reject the possibility of him resurrecting. As the non-Christian historian Paula Fredrickson puts it, I know that in their own terms what they saw was the raised Jesus. That's what they say, and then all the historical evidence we have afterward attests to their conviction that that's what they saw. I'm not saying that they really did see the raised Jesus. I wasn't there. I don't know what they saw. But I do know that as a historian, I know that they must have seen something. So here's the thing. Mr. Beast believes in a God who performed the greatest miracle of all, creating the entire universe. And so the only reason to reject God as a possible explanation for Jesus being raised from the dead would be if he rejected the existence of God. But the fact that Mr. Beast already believes that God exists and also that he performed the great miracle of creation, that should enable him to look at the evidence for the resurrection with an open mind, seeking the most plausible explanation of the current facts that we have surrounding it. If he does this, I believe that his anxiety over death can be relieved, and not by suspending reason or logic or evidence, but instead by looking deeper into the evidence and approaching it with a reasonable degree of reason and logic. Christianity doesn't command people to abandon rationality and just believe that it's true because people say that it's true. In fact, it says that if Christ didn't really resurrect from the dead, then it's not true and our faith is in vain. So, to Mr. Beast and those like him, I would encourage you not to believe that Christianity is true in spite of the evidence, but instead, I would encourage you to believe in it because of the evidence. And by the way, this video is part of our What Do They Actually Believe series, where we explain and analyze the complex religious views that famous people have. So let us know down below who you would like to see us cover next. And until next time, what do you believe?